Hello, food forest gardeners, and welcome back to the garden. Today we're going to do a little video about Simpson stopper. What a neat little native Florida plant. So let's get into it. Um, so this is my fourth food forest, as some of you know if you've been watching my channel. But this is the first time I've ever grown Simpson stopper. And it, this garden that I have now is the furthest south of all my gardens. The one furthest north is way up in North Georgia. So that would have been way out of the question for Simpson stopper because it's pretty much a semi-tropical plant. It is native to Florida, mostly along the coasts, all along the Florida peninsular coast, both the Atlantic and the Gulf side. And it will grow naturally in the wild all the way up into the coastal South Carolina area. There's so much to say about Simpson stopper. It does have edible berries, and these orangish to reddish berries are edible. There are seeds in there, and let's see if we can find the seeds in this one. Yeah, there's a seed coming out. And there's one seed that time. I will toss that seed and pop that one in my mouth. And it is so sweet and delicious. Now they say these are variable on the quality of the fruit, and sometimes it's mealy. But I tell you what, I guess I got lucky with this one because the fruit on this is sweet and tasty every time. I've also read and seen that the fruit can sometimes be quite astringent if it's not totally ripe. But I have not really experienced that with these. They can be really sort of orangish like this, or they can be much darker red like these over here. And either way, these happen to be nice and sweet. Now, Simpson stopper is a plant that is sold mostly around Florida. It's sold as a hedge plant. And if it's in a sunny spot, you can prune it down and grow it as a nice dense hedge plant. But if it's in a shadier area, it won't grow that densely. In fact, let's just talk about all this is an amazing plant. It's very versatile. So the largest ones ever found in nature are actually over 50 feet tall, which is very surprising. There are also others, and this may very well be one that are actually a dwarf that only get about 6 feet tall. I don't know what I have here. I bought this from someone on Facebook Marketplace. They're very slow growing. I've had this one for a little over a year, and it's probably added a maximum of maybe 12 inches of height. So it's a pretty slow growing plant, and I wasn't sure what to make of this plant. I thought I'd just give it a try. One of the things I always read about it was that it was pretty tropical and not really capable of growing in areas where you get really, really hard freezes. But I tell you, we had that historic 18, 19 degree freeze 2 mornings in a row at the end of January and first day of February just this past winter. It was the coldest weather in over 30 years in this part of Florida. And for those of you who don't, we're located here close to Bellevue, Florida, so right at 9A, 9B. Anyway, it got down to 18, 19 degrees here and cold enough to completely kill roots and everything. My Brogdon avocado, which is supposed to be cold tolerant, my winter Mexican avocado, killed them and killed many other tropical plants of mine, my papayas and my ice cream beans. This little Simpson stopper never even dropped a leaf. I think it's a lot more cold tolerant, or maybe certain individuals, or some of them can be more cold tolerant than advertised. This one certainly is. And so to my delight, it's done quite well. Not only did it survive that freeze with no damage at all that I could see, but it's even flowering and fruiting. Now this is a pretty sunny spot I've got right here. This banana is starting to shade it some, but the afternoon sun just pounds this spot here with direct sun for many hours. And that's how they'll fruit the best, if they get that kind of intense sun. You need that kind of energy for flowering and fruit production. But they will grow in pretty shady areas. They just won't fruit as much. And they'll also grow more lanky where you'll see the trunk of the tree more. And the trunk kind of resembles crepe myrtle. Oh, it's not really a bark on it. It's like it's a bare trunk. Really pretty when they get bigger. Of course, if you grow them real dense like a hedge in sunny spots, you won't really see that. All you see is the dense green foliage. But if they're in a shadier spot and you let them grow up like a tree, you can get a really pretty trunk pattern with them. So let's see. Another thing to know about these guys is they're actually very different from what I'm doing with the rest of my food forest, which is an acidic environment. These guys don't like that. They'd rather have the pH up 7 to 8. They live along the coast where there's lots of seashells and limestone rock outcroppings. So if you mix in some limestone rocks, maybe put some limestone gravel. See, this one is growing in a 100-gallon pot, and I've got it in here with frog fruit and lantana. But I did throw a bunch of limestone rocks in here with this sand when I set this pot up for this guy, and I think it's probably benefiting from that. That's what you want to do. You want to give it some crushed seashells or limestone to grow your Simpson stopper. Let's talk about propagation. So that seed that I pulled out of that fruit actually is one of the most reliable ways of propagating it is to just plant your seed in a pot. Just make sure it's well drained but moist. Don't let it dry out, and then be very, very patient. It's just a slow growing plant. It's slow to sprout and grow, and don't expect it to get real big anytime soon. But you could also, take a shot at, as long as you have the semi-softwood like this, you could take a shot at growing it from a cutting like this one right here. You could got it right about where my thumb is there and take off all the leaves except for maybe just that many on top, or even take these off too. Just a few leaves on top, and you might be able to get it going from cuttings. But again, be patient. And when you try to from cuttings, you probably should cover it with a clear plastic dome to hold in the humidity to help that cutting. But what a wonderful plant. I've kind of fallen in love with this little plant, the Simpson stopper. It's native. It's a great plant for insects, with all the flowers. And that's the other thing too. This is such a young plant, it hasn't really done it yet, but I've seen pictures and videos of plants that have much more intense flowering than this one had this year. It flowered pretty good though. If you look up inside here, there's fruit all through here. Look at all these fruits. And of course it all came from flowers. But they can be really solid white with flowers, small white flowers. And that's probably, I'm expecting to see that probably starting next year. And I might want to go ahead and dress it with a little bit more crushed seashells to help support the flowering and fruiting with the calcium and phosphorus that you get there with that. So yeah, Simpson stopper. It's great for wildlife. Of course, the birds and probably squirrels, I would imagine, would love to eat the fruit. And pollinators love the flowers. I like the fruit myself. I mean, it's not big. You can make jellies and jams. You can just eat them fresh like I just did. Simpson stopper, what a wonderful little plant, so versatile. Use it for hedges, use it for trees, use it for shrubs. Planted in shady areas, planted in sunny areas. Just make sure it's getting that little bit of an alkaline ground to grow in with some seashells or limestone rocks. So I guess that's about it. Oh, and I didn't mention, but it is evergreen. So it's a nice native Florida edible evergreen, great for insects and nature, and wonderful little plant. I think I'm going to get me some more. I think I'd like to see if I can grab a bunch, and then I'll just I'll just sort of mulch the areas where I plant them with a bunch of crushed seashells so that they have what they need, because the rest of my food forest is generally pretty acidic. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Simpson Stopper. Hope y'all enjoyed the video and got something out of it. And as always, everybody, take care and happy gardening.